So, my dear students, now we will discuss the stability of the metal complexes. So, in the last session, I told you about the thermodynamic stability. So, actually, in this particular reaction mechanism, so we are studying about the reactivity of the metal complexes. So, in that, to understand the reactivity, we need to understand the stability of metal complexes. So, these are the two types of stabilities, that is thermodynamic stability and the kinetic stability. And you know that the thermodynamic stability is nothing but it measures the extent of the formation of the complex. So let us take simple ML6. So you can prepare this, you can synthesize this. So by two methods. The method you can take first metal, it reacts with 6 ligands and you will get the ML6. So this is one complex. So here after the formation of this complex, it is reacted with certain Y ligand. So now you are getting ML5 and another one, that is Y, and this is again L. So here it is a substitution reaction. So from M plus 6L, that is metal, it is coordinated with 6 ligands and you are getting a complex like this. So you need to understand the formation of this particular complex, that is the thermodynamic stability. So in the thermodynamic stability, we will understand the formation of the complex. So after the formation, what is the reactivity? So the reactivity includes the kinetic stability of the complex. So in the last session, I told you about the thermodynamic stability. Now in this session, we will discuss the kinetic stability of the metal complex. So simply you can understand once again, metal, it can react with ligand to form as a ML. ML, if you can synthesize ML6, so just so let us write 6 ligands. So let us write 6 ligands. So here ML6 you will get. And after that, you can react with any other ligand Y. So you will get ML5Y plus the L is separated out here. So this comes under the thermodynamic stability, the first part. So this is the thermodynamic stability and this is the kinetic stability. So here you are synthesizing this ML6 here. So according to thermodynamic aspects here, so stable is nothing but, you can synthesize in other way, like ML5, you can react with one ligand. So then also you will get the same product, that is ML5. So this is also thermodynamic stability and this is also thermodynamic stability. But here there is a difference that it is a stepwise stability constant. So you can write this as a K6, that is a equilibrium constant, that is stability constant. So here you can write as beta 6 because it is a cumulative stability constant and it is a stepwise stability constant. But you can synthesize anyway this one or this one. So finally you are getting this product. So if thermodynamically stable, that means that we are getting high amount of product. We are getting high amount of product, that is ML6. So let us take the kinetic stability. Now the kinetic stability, it includes after the formation of the product. So ML6 it is already produced here. Then after the formation of this, what is the reactivity of this? So this particular kinetic stability, it includes the reactivity of this product. So kinetically stable, that means that this particular reactant. So now this comes under the reactant part. So in the substitution reaction, so this is a substitution reaction. In this we will study the kinetic aspects here. So in this we will study the kinetic stability here. Kinetic stability here. So kinetically stable is different with the thermodynamic stable. So once again I'm telling you the thermodynamic. So in thermodynamic stable and kinetically stable. So this is, so thermodynamically let us write unstable. So let us write thermodynamically unstable. And here also kinetically stable and thermodynamically unstable. Sorry, kinetically unstable. We will see the difference between these two things. So here thermodynamically stable means the product which is having very less energy, so it is getting stabilized here. So whenever the thermodynamically stable product, so thermodynamically it is a stable complex. So that means that the complex, it can be easily produced here. So if it is stable means, so here there is a high amount of a particular product. So there is high amount of ML6, the product which is ML6. So this is our product. So if a particular complex is a if a particular complex is thermodynamically stable, it means that the whatever the complex, so the product here you will get the higher amount here. If it is unstable, it means that you are getting lower amount, low amount of product, so that is ml6. So that is the thermodynamic aspects here. In the thermodynamics, we will understand the formation of the complex. So after the formation, we will understand the reactivity of the complex in the kinetic part here. So kinetically stable, it means completely inert. So if it is stable, so that means this ml6, it cannot react with y, and you never get y product. So here also unstable, that means it can easily react with this, so it is called labile. So now we will understand in depth with the kinetic stability. So let us go into the kinetic stability of the metal complex. So the thermodynamic stability that we have already seen in the last session. So after that, you can watch this kinetic stability so that you can easily understand this kinetic stability. So let us understand this kinetic stability. So once again, I'm telling you, metal, it reacted with 6 ligands, and you are getting the product as ml6. So whenever it reacts with Y, you are getting the product as ml5 plus and ligand. So here, this is a substitution reaction. This is a substitution reaction. And now the reaction, the time, the rate of a reaction, mechanism of the reaction, it includes the kinetic stability. So kinetic stability here. So here the kinetic stability is actually classified into two types. So what are the two types here? One is labile, and another one which is inert. So major difference between these two things. So the kinetically stable, kinetically which is labile and inert. So inert is nothing but the kinetically it is a stable product. Labile means it is unstable. And stable, it means that it is unreactive, and it is here reactive. So see here, labile nothing but it is a free to move. Labile, it indicates that the reactant molecule, it can easily move. So it can easily free, that means it can easily undergo substitution reaction. So it can easily undergo the substitution reaction. So labile complex means that this Y can easily substitute this ligand, and you will get the product like this. అంటే labile అంటే ఈజీగా మూవ్ అవ్వడం, ఈజీగా రియాక్ట్ అవ్వడం. సో అందుకే ఇట్ ఈస్ ఎ రియాక్టివ్. వై ఈజీగా లోపలికి వచ్చేసి సబ్స్టిట్యూషన్ రియాక్షన్ ఈజీ చేస్తే దాన్ని labile కాంప్లెక్స్ అంటారు. ఇనర్ట్ అంటే ఇట్ ఈస్ ఎ స్టేబుల్ కాంప్లెక్స్. సో అది ఎవరితోనూ రియాక్ట్ అవ్వదు, ఉన్న కాడ కూర్చొని సైలెంట్ గా ఉంటుంది. సో దట్ ఈస్ ఇనర్ట్. ఇనర్ట్ అంటే ఎవరితో సంబంధం ఉండదు, ఫ్రీగా దానికదే కూర్చుంటది. దట్ ఈస్ ఎ స్టేబుల్. సో ఐ ఆల్రెడీ టోల్డ్ యూ ఇన్ ద లాస్ట్ సెషన్ ద ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఆఫ్ మిల్క్. మనం మిల్క్ తీసుకుంటే మనం బాయిల్ చేస్తూ ఉంటే, హీట్ ఎనర్జీ సప్లై చేస్తూ ఉంటే, సో వాట్ ఎవర్ ద రియాక్టెంట్ మాలిక్యూల్స్ అవి ఉన్న కాడ ఎగురుతూ ఉంటాయి. సో ఫ్రీగా మూవ్ అవుతున్నాయి. సో దట్ ఈస్ అ లెబైల్. స్టేబుల్ ఎప్పుడు ఉంటాయి? అంత అయిపోయింది, మనం మిల్క్ వేట్ చేసాం, ఛాయ్ అయిపోయింది, అంత అయిపోయిన తర్వాత హీట్ ఎనర్జీ మొత్తం తగ్గిపోదు, కూల్ అయిన తర్వాత మొత్తం స్టేబుల్ గా ఉంటుంది. సో అదేం రియాక్ట్ అవ్వదు. ఎప్పుడు రియాక్ట్ అవుతుంది? అది టెంపరేచర్ ఇచ్చినప్పుడు, అది మూవ్ అవుతున్నప్పుడే రియాక్ట్ అవుతుంది. సో ఓన్లీ మిల్క్ తీసుకొని మామూలుగా ఏదైనా టీ పౌడర్ కానీ షుగర్ వేసినప్పుడు ఆటోమేటిక్ గా కలిసి మీకు టీ అవ్వదు. సో ద మాలిక్యూల్స్ మస్ట్ రియాక్ట్ విత్ ఈచ్ అదర్. ఒక్కొక్కటి కలవాలి. సో షుగర్ మాలిక్యూల్, ఆ టీ పౌడర్, మిల్క్ అన్ని కలవాలి. సో ఫ్రీగా అటు ఇటు మూవ్ అయితేనే ఫైనల్ గా నీకు టీ వస్తుంది. సో అంతేగాని వట్టి పాలల్లో టీ పౌడర్ షుగర్ వేసి తీసుకోని అంటే అప్పుడు టీ అవ్వదు. సో మొత్తం రియాక్షన్ జరగాలి అంటే అది ఫ్రీగా మూవ్ అవ్వాలి. సో ఫ్రీగా మూవ్ అవ్వాలి కాబట్టి మనం హీట్ ఎనర్జీని మనం సప్లై చేస్తాం. సో ఆఫ్టర్ సప్లైయింగ్ సచ్ అమౌంట్ ఆఫ్ హీట్ ఎనర్జీ, సో కొంచెం హీట్ ఎనర్జీ అప్లై చేసిన తర్వాత అటు ఇటు మూవ్ అవుతాయి. షుగర్ మాలిక్యూల్స్ కానీ, టీ పౌడర్ కానీ, మిల్క్ కానీ అన్ని కలిసిపోయి ఇట్ ఈస్ హైలీ రియాక్టివ్. సో అన్ని రియాక్ట్ అయిపోయి యూ విల్ గెట్ ద టీ ప్రొడక్ట్. సో ఫైనల్లీ యూ విల్ గెట్ ద టీ. That is a labile. Inert means completely it is unreactive. It is completely unreactive. So generally whenever it will be unreactive, so unreactive అంటే అసలు దేనితోనూ కూడా రియాక్ట్ అవ్వదు. సో పీస్ఫుల్ గా అది ఒక్కటే ఉంటే దాన్ని ఇనర్ట్ అంటారు. దట్ ఈస్ unreactive. So let us understand this kinetic stability, that is labile complex and the inert complex in detail. So I already told you about the thermodynamic stability, that is decided with the Gibbs free energy. So that is with the energy here. So generally the thermodynamic stability, it is decided with the energy here. So if the energy concentration is very high, then it is unstable. If the energy is very low, then it is a stable. That is according to thermodynamics here. So you know that, once again I'm telling you, see here. So particularly, so according to thermodynamics, we are saying two words, that is stable and another one which is unstable. So we are saying only two words here. So stable and unstable, it means that the energy of product, so must be very low. So then only you can say it is a stable product. Then only you can say it is a stable product. So that is a stable according to thermodynamic here. According to thermodynamic stability. So thermodynamic stability. Here the stability means energy of the product must be very low. So energy is inversely relation with the stability. Energy is inversely relation with the stability, and you can easily understand this. So energy of the product must be very low. That is a stable here. So if it is a stable, that means there is a high formation of the product. So energy of the product must be very low. So you will get higher amount of the product. So you will get high amount. So you will get high amount of product. High amount of product. Let us take unstable. Unstable means the energy of the product which is very high. Is very high. Energy of the product which is very high. Then only it is unstable. Then only it is unstable. So you can take like milk. మిల్క్ మనకి ఎప్పుడు అన్స్టేబుల్ గా ఉంటుంది. హీట్ ఎనర్జీ సప్లై చేయకపోతే అది హ్యాపీగా స్టేబుల్ గానే ఉంటుంది. బట్ మనం హీట్ ఎనర్జీ సప్లై చేస్తే దట్ విల్ బికమ్ అన్స్టేబుల్. సో కంప్లీట్లీ అన్స్టేబుల్ అవుతుంది. స్టేబుల్ కి అన్స్టేబుల్ కి తేడా చూడండి. సో వాట్ ఎవర్ ద అమౌంట్ ఆఫ్ హీట్ ఎనర్జీ మనం సప్లై చేస్తున్నాం మిల్క్ కి. సో మనం మిల్క్ తీసుకొని మనం బాయిల్ చేసినప్పుడు హీట్ ఎనర్జీ సప్లై చేస్తున్నాం. సో సప్లై చేయకముందు అది స్టేబుల్ గా ఉంటుంది, ఎందుకంటే దానికి ఎనర్జీ తక్కువ ఉంది. కానీ ఆఫ్టర్ ది గివింగ్ సర్టెన్ అమౌంట్ ఆఫ్ ఎనర్జీ, హీట్ ఎనర్జీ ఇవ్వగానే ఆ ఉన్న రియాక్టెంట్ మాలిక్యూల్స్ అలానే ఉండవు. మిల్క్ అలానే ఉండదు, కంప్లీట్ గా వేపర్స్ ఫామ్ అవడం అయితే కాసేపు అయిన తర్వాత మిల్క్ కూడా ఎగిరిపోతుంది బికాస్ ఆఫ్ ద ఎవాపరేషన్. సో ఎవాపరేషన్ ద్వారా కొద్దిసేపు అయిన తర్వాత మిల్క్ వాల్యూమ్ అనేది కూడా తగ్గిపోతుంది, ఎందుకంటే ఎనర్జీ ఇంక్రీజ్ అవుతుంది. ఎనర్జీ ఇంక్రీజ్ అయితే స్టెబిలిటీ డిక్రీజ్ అవుతుంది. So that is a thermodynamic stability here. But in this lecture, we have to study the kinetic stability of the metal complex. So the kinetic stability, actually it is of two types. One is labile complex and the second one which is inert complex. Labile complex and inert complex. So here inert is nothing but it is a stable. Inert is nothing but stable. Labile means nothing but it is a unstable. It is unstable. So here you have to understand the labile and inert. So now the kinetic aspects include the reactivity, the substitution reaction. So I will tell you exactly here. The thermodynamic stability is completely related with the Gibbs free energy, but the kinetic stability is related with the activation energy. It related with the activation energy. So I will explain you here the activation energy, but you have to understand these two things, labile and inert. So here this labile and inert. So let us understand. Once again, I am telling you, see here. So now we are studying particularly this kinetic aspects into a substitution reaction. So let us take, there is a M and L. We are reacting with Y. So you are getting a product, any product like My plus L. This is one of the substitution reaction. So what happens here? So this reaction is a substitution reaction. So because this Y is substituted with L, so we have to see the reactivity, the reactant product here. So we have to see the stability of this particular complex here. So if it is labile, so you will get the final product as My. So if it is inert, you will not get this product. The reaction definitely it will never occur if this particular metal ligand, the complex, if it is inert here. Inert ante evertone react avadu. So this labile indicates that it is reactive. It is reactive, and this inert is nothing but it is unreactive. So stable ga untadi, evertone react avadu. So ikkada inert complex aithe, ikkada Ml anedi inert complex aithe, ఆ inert complex అయితే అసలు రియాక్షన్ లో పాల్గొనదు. This Ml6, the Ml, it will never react with Y, and you will never get this particular product. ఆ product అసలు రాదు ఎప్పుడు ఈ Ml అనేది inert అయితే, if it is inert. So if it is inert, if this particular Ml, this is inert, the reaction will never occur. But if it is a labile that can easily freely to move, so that ఇది ఫ్రీగా మూవ్ అవుతుందంటే y ఈజీగా దాన్ని రిప్లేస్ చేస్తుంది. సో యూ విల్ గెట్ ద ఫైనల్ ప్రోడక్ట్, దట్ ఈస్ యూ విల్ గెట్ ద సబ్స్టిట్యూషన్ రియాక్షన్. So now we are understanding about the reactivity of this complex. But in the thermodynamic stability, we have to understand the formation of this complex. But in the kinetic stability, we have to see the reactivity of this complex. Is it is reactive or not? That only we have to see here. So here, let us understand again one thing here. So here the interaction, what are the interactions of this metal and ligand? So let us take the interactions of this metal and ligand. So let us try to understand the interactions of metal ligand. So let us take two cases. That is, there is a strong interactions between metal and a ligand. And there is second reaction, that is weak interaction. Weak interaction between metal and ligand. See what happens here. So if there is a strong interactions between M and L, what happens here? So they will come closer here. అవి ఇంకా దగ్గర ఉంటాయి, స్ట్రాంగ్ ఇంటరాక్షన్స్ ఉంటాయి. అప్పుడు ఈ y వచ్చి దీన్ని డిస్టర్బ్ చేయాలి. సో y వచ్చి దాన్ని డిస్టర్బ్ చేయాలి. సో అప్పుడే కదా రియాక్ట్ అయ్యేది. సో అప్పుడే మన సబ్స్టిట్యూషన్ రియాక్షన్ వస్తుంది. సో ఈ y అనేది అక్కడ ఉన్న L ని డిస్టర్బ్ చేసి ఈ బాండ్ ని బ్రేక్ చేసి ఈ L ని పక్కకు పడేసి ఈ y అక్కడ పోయి అటాచ్ అవ్వాలి. But here the interactions of metal and ligand are more here. So there is a strong force of attraction between this metal and ligand. But we also need to replace this ligand with y. So we have to do a substitution reaction with y. So we have to replace this L with y. What I should do here? అంటే ఏం చేయాలి ఇప్పుడు నేను? ఏం చేయాలంటే this is very strong. So I need to break this particular bond between this M and L. So I need to break this particular bond. Then only I can interact this Y with metal complex here. అంటే ఏం చేయాలంటే దీన్ని బ్రేక్ చేయాలి. సో బ్రేక్ చేయాలి అంటే మనకు ఎనర్జీ కావాలి. So that energy required to break this particular interaction, that is metal ligand interaction. So whatever the energy, that energy is called actually the activation energy. It is called the activation energy. So here the energy required to break this particular molecule, so that this Y can easily replaces this. That is the activation energy here. అంటే ఇక్కడ ML6 ని బ్రేక్ చేసి Y రిప్లేస్ అవ్వాలి. సో ML6 ని బ్రేక్ చేసి Y రిప్లేస్ అవ్వాలి అంటే సో పర్టికులర్ గా మనకు ఎనర్జీ కావాలి. సో ఎనర్జీ ఎంత కావాలంటే ఎక్సెస్ కావాలి, ఎందుకంటే దెర్ ఆర్ స్ట్రాంగ్ ఇంటరాక్షన్స్ ఆర్ దేర్. సో హియర్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు అండర్స్టాండ్ వన్ థింగ్ హియర్. సో దెర్ ఇస్ ఎ స్ట్రాంగ్ ఇంటరాక్షన్ బిట్వీన్ దిస్ మెటల్ అండ్ ligand. So you require high amount of activation energy. So actually activation energy is indicated with EA. So that is EA. So whenever it is a weak interaction, so that is weak interaction. So we can easily replace this ligand with Y. So it require very low activation energy. So that is the activation energy related with the interaction. So let us understand in detail with the activation energy, because we are studying about the kinetic stability of the metal complex. So kinetic stability is completely different with the thermodynamic stability, because the thermodynamic stability, it completely involves with the formation of the product, but kinetic stability, it includes the reactivity of the complex. So there is no correlation between the thermodynamic stability and the kinetic stability. So let us understand in detail with activation energy here. So here the activation energy. So first you have to understand this activation energy here. So activation energy. So activation energy, let us take milk here. So I'm taking particularly milk. So this is milk. Now here there is no energy we are supplying. So milk always it stays at rest. ఆ మిల్క్ అలానే ఉంటుంది, హీట్ ఇచ్చేదాకా అది అలానే ఉంటుంది, ఎస్కేప్ అవ్వదు, రియాక్ట్ అవ్వదు. సో ఇప్పుడు దీంట్లో మనం టీ పౌడర్ వేసాం. సో వీఆర్ ఇన్సర్టింగ్ ద టీ పౌడర్ అండ్ ఆల్సో షుగర్. సో వాట్ హ్యాపెన్స్? సో దెన్ ఇట్ విల్ డైరెక్ట్లీ ఇట్ నెవర్ బికమ్స్ టీ. ఆ టీ అనేది ఈజీగా ఏర్పడదు. సో టీ కాకపోతే ఏమవుతుంది మరి? అలానే ఉండిపోతుంది తప్ప టీ అవ్వదు. టీ అవ్వాలంటే ఏం చేయాలి అంటే we must supply some amount of heat energy. So we have to supply some amount of heat energy here. So we have to supply this heat, certain amount of heat energy, then only you will get the final whatever the T here. So heat energy, the required heat energy added to the reactants. అంటే ఈ రియాక్టెంట్ కు మనం ఎంతైతే యాడ్ చేస్తున్నామో ఆ హీట్ ఎనర్జీనే యాక్టివేషన్ ఎనర్జీ అంటారు. యాక్టివేషన్ ఎనర్జీ అంటారు. సో దట్ ఈస్ ద యాక్టివేషన్ ఎనర్జీ బికాస్ ద ఎనర్జీ రిక్వైర్డ్ టు యాక్టివేట్ ద మాలిక్యూల్స్. ఈ మిల్క్ అనేది ఈజీగా రియాక్ట్ అవ్వట్లేదు టీ పౌడర్ తోని షుగర్ తోని. సో అందుకే ఈ మిల్క్ ఏవైతే మాలిక్యూల్స్ ఉన్నాయో ఇవి ఫస్ట్ యాక్టివేట్ అవ్వాలి. సో యాక్టివేట్ అవ్వాలంటే మనం హీట్ ఎనర్జీని సప్లై చేస్తాం. సో అప్పుడు మాలిక్యూల్స్ అన్ని యాక్టివేట్ అవుతాయి. అప్పుడు మెల్లమెల్లగా పైకి వస్తూ ఉంటుంది, మీకు నురగలాగా వచ్చేస్తుంది. సో మొత్తం పొంగుతూ ఉంటుంది, అంటే మిల్క్ అనేది మొత్తం పైకి వస్తూ ఉంటుంది. సో దాని అర్థం ఏంటి, అది రియాక్టివ్ అయిపోయింది, హైలీ రియాక్టివ్ అయిపోయింది. సో దాని హీట్ ఎనర్జీ ఇచ్చినాం here. దాన్ని ఎంత ఇచ్చినాం అనే దాన్ని యాక్టివేషన్ ఎనర్జీ అంటాం. సో ఇఫ్ ద పర్టికులర్ కాంప్లెక్స్ లెట్ us టేక్ ద హీట్ ఎనర్జీ. సో దానికి ఒకవేళ ఎనర్జీ ఉన్న ఎనర్జీ 20 అనుకోండి, సో మనం ఒక 30 ఇచ్చినాం అనుకోండి, సో యూ విల్ గెట్ ద ఫైనల్ 50 joules of energy here. So that is a way of understanding for the activation energy. So I will relate with graph also. I will relate with graph, two graphs. So let us try to draw these two graphs. So what is the difference between these two things? So the major things between these two things particularly, that is, so this is the energy here and this is the reaction progression here. So this is also same, this is also energy and this is also reaction progression. So see what happens here, this is the reactant energy and this is the product energy. This is also the reactant energy and this is the product energy. So this is the, let us take these are the R star. This let us take this is also R star. So whatever may be the reactant molecules, they must first activated. So they must activated to form as a R star. So then only you will get the product. So this is the kinetic aspects here. So you have to understood these things, very important here. So to convert this R to R star, that is to convert the inactivated reactant to activated molecule, we have to need certain amount of energy. Certain amount of energy is called the activation energy. Here the kinetic stability, it depends on the activation energy. It depends on the activation energy. So here this particular energy from here to here, R to R star, so the energy is called the activation energy. So we are supplying, we are adding certain amount of energy, so to get activated here. So here also the activation energy is this one. So here the activation energy of second one and the first one, this let us say this is the first one and this is the second one. So the activation energy for the first one, which is very less comparing with the second one. So what is the difference between these two things? So here the activation energy is very low. So here EA, which is very low, but here EA, which is very high. What is the difference between these two things? So activation energy is very low, it means that, so particularly activation energy is low, so that means, so you will get very direct, you will get the directly product like this. So if this activation energy is very high, then the whatever the peak, it will goes like this and it will again get down like this. So here the activation energy is very, very important here. So if the activation energy is very low, so particularly if the activation energy is very low, what happens here? So if the particularly the energy, the activation energy is very low, so then directly it can convert to, so let us take this is a graph like this. So if the particular activation energy is very low, then directly you will get the graph like this. So that means you will get very, very less amount. So you have to require, so you have to give, you have to supply certain amount of energy that is very less. So here see here very less amount of energy, here we have to supply very less amount of energy and finally we will get the product here. You have to understood this thing here. So the additional energy whatever we are added to the reactants energy, so reactant ki koncham energy already untadi. So meeku already kanipistundi reactant yokka energy something. So reactant energy already untadi, this is the react energy, it may be 20 30. So we must add 30 add cheste 50 vastundi. So 30 is the activation energy, 30 is the activation energy to activate this molecule. So to activate this molecule, so then only it will, you will get the final product. So to activate the molecule, you need activation energy. So this is indicated with EA. So this kinetic stability actually Kinetic stability, it depends on activation energy. That is, activation energy is very high here, very high. Activation energy is very high here. That you have to understand these two things. So activation energy is very high. What is the difference here? So if it is a high activation energy, what happens here? So what does it mean here? So here the activation energy is very high. In the second case, if the activation energy is very high, that means that we need very high amount of energy to react to activate this particular reactant. సో యాక్టివేషన్ ఎనర్జీ ఎక్కువ ఉంది అంటే దాని అర్థం ఏంటంటే రిక్వైర్డ్ ఎనర్జీ చాలా ఎక్కువ అవసరమైనట్టు. సో వీ నీడ్ వెరీ హై అమౌంట్ ఆఫ్ ఎనర్జీ టు యాక్టివేట్ దిస్ ఆర్ ఇంటూ ఆర్ స్టార్. సో ఇక్కడ వెరీ లో ఒకటి తక్కువ. సో లెట్ us టేక్ ద యాక్టివేషన్ ఎనర్జీ హియర్, దట్ ఈస్ 30. సో వీఆర్ యాడింగ్ 30 హియర్. So 30 is the activation energy in the first case. So let us take it is a 20 and it is a 70. See what is the difference here? The activation energy, we are adding 50 here. So 50 is the activation energy for the second case. So the activation in the second case, that is 50, which is very high comparing with the first one. So here the 50 joules, which is very high comparing with this 30. So that means that, so we can easily activate the first graph comparing with the second graph, because we are supplying only 30 joules of energy. But here in the second case, we are supplying 50 joules of energy. So we need very high amount of energy to react, to activate that particular reactant. So I will write two ways, that is R, it is going to react with R star, and finally you are getting the product. So finally you are getting very product. So you have to understand these two things here. So here the activation energy, it is called the activation energy. So there may be low activation energy, whereas high activation energy. So let us understand, let us write first low activation energy. So that means we need only very less amount of energy. So very less means you will simply get the graph like this. So simply you will get the graph like this. So low activation energy required. So low activation energy, that means we need very less amount of energy to react this particular R, to convert this R into R star. So to activate this R into R to R dash here. So that is the important thing here. So low activation energy, that means that, so it is requiring very less amount of energy to react this metal. So second case, let us say second case. So very high activation energy. So very high activation energy, that means that, so it requires very high amount of energy to convert this R to R star here. So to convert from R to R star, so to activate this R into R star, so we need very high amount of energy here. So I will tell you exactly the interactions of metal and the ligand. So let us understand this. So if there is a metal and the ligand, so here which is the interactions of this, which is very low. The first one, this is the first case, and the second case, the interactions between this metal and the ligand, which are very high. So see here, if the interactions are very low, if there is a interaction between this M and L, they are very low, then it can easily substitute with any other ligand. So if the interactions between this metal and the ligand are very low, that means, so we need only less amount of energy to activate this metal and the ligand, because this activation energy is nothing but the energy required to break this particular metal ligand bond here. So this energy, the activation energy, it required to break this particular bond here, metal and the ligand. So here the activation energy, the required activation energy, which is very low, that is the first case here. So very low here, the low activation energy, whenever the interactions of metal and the ligand, they are very weak, then you are getting the low activation energy. So if it is very low activation energy, what happens? So if it is low activation energy, this is very low activation energy. So what happens? So generally this product, it will come nearer to the zero here. So the energy of the product will decreases here. So generally if it is having very low activation energy, so low activation energy, that means, so we need only very less amount of energy to break this particular bond. So that becomes completely reactive. So that it can easily react with any other. So it becomes completely reactive. If it is a reactive, then it is unstable and it can easily interact with any other ligands and you will get the substitution reaction. So once again, I'm telling you, see here, metal and the ligand, if you are reacting with Y and you are getting the final product as Mi plus L. And I will write the same with another case, that is Y, and you are getting My plus L. This is the first case, this is the second case. What is the difference here? So the energy required to break this particular bond here. So energy required to break this bond. See here. So there is a bond, there is an interaction between this metal and the ligand. So then only this Y can interact with this metal ligand. So it can get the product here. That is the kinetic stability here. So we will see the kinetic stability completely with the reactivity, the reaction mechanism here. So we must break this particular interaction. So here this metal and the ligand. So now I'm writing, let us take it is a low activation energy. And it is very high activation energy. So it means what? So low activation energy, that means to activate this reactant. So to activate this metal ligand complex. So first actually it should activate like this. So it becomes reactive and it can easily react with this Y and you will get the final product. So here the energy required to activate this metal ligand, which is very low. That means the interactions are very low. Low interactions. Low interaction, or you can say weak interaction. Weak interaction. So you can write again with high activation energy. So high activation energy అంటే దీన్ని బ్రేక్ చేయడానికి ఇంకా ఎక్కువ ఎనర్జీ అవసరం పడుతుంది. సో ఎక్కువ ఎనర్జీ అవసరం పడుతుందంటే the interactions are very strong here. The interactions are very strong here. So this is also in the same way, that is metal and the ligand, which is Ml star here, that is activated molecule here. So the activation energy here also which is very high here, which is very high activation energy. It mean what? So the interactions, which the interaction between metal and the ligand, very strong here. So very strong interactions in between this metal and the ligand. So that is, you have to understand this. So the kinetic stability, it includes with the activation energy. So if it is very less activation energy, if it is very less activation energy, then you can say simply it is reactive. So a very low activation energy, that means that so it need only very less amount of energy to activate that particular reactant. So after the activation, it can go whatever the reaction here. But here low activation energy, it means that it can easily undergo substitution complex, substitution reaction. The complex can be easily substituted with any other ligand. That is a low activation energy. So low activation energy, it is nothing but it is a reactive. It indicates reactive. It indicates a reactive, and the interactions of metal and the ligand which are very weak here. The interactions are very weak interaction or low interaction. And this is completely called as a labile complex. Labile complex here. And here in case of this is called the inert complex. This is called the inert complex. It cannot react with any other. So see here this metal and the ligand which is reacted with Y, and you will get the product here. So here you have to understand that it is a substitution reaction. This is the Y must to substitute with this L and you are getting the final product. So here you have to understand that. So very high activation energy, it mean what? So very high activation energy, it mean what here? So very high activation energy, it indicates that the activation energy, the energy required to activate particular reactant which is very high here. So the interactions are very strong here. If the interactions are very strong here, so we need very high amount of energy to break this particular bond. So that is high activation energy. So that means that it is an inert complex. So it is a stable complex. It is a stable complex here. So here the stability or instability, stable or unstable. So that can be, you can understand with the activation energy. So that you can understand with the activation energy. If it is very low activation energy, then we can say it is a reactive. The interactions are very weak, so it is called labile complex. So once again, I will write you for your sake. That is, so the kinetic stability, it includes labile complex, and here which is a inert complex. Inert complex, here which is labile complex. So see the difference between these two things. So labile complex is nothing but it is easily reactive, and inert means this is unreactive. It will never react with any other, so it will never undergo substitution reaction. So again, the labile is nothing but which is unstable, and here which is a stable here. This is completely stable here. Then only it is inert here. So stable ante everything react avvadu. So alane undipotadi. That is the stable here. So here which is unstable. So ade react avta antundi. So mana reaction enti ante metal and the ligand, it must reacted with Y, and here it must converted into My plus ligand. So here the substitution reaction manaku jaragali. సో సబ్స్టిట్యూషన్ కావాలి అంటే ఒక లిగాండ్ చేసేసి Y అనే లిగాండ్ లోపలికి రావాలి. సో లెబైల్ కాంప్లెక్స్ అంటే ఫ్రీగా మూవ్ అవుతుంది, ఇన్నర్ట్ అంటే ఫ్రీగా మూవ్ అవ్వదు, అక్కడే ఉంటుంది. సో లెబైల్ కాంప్లెక్స్ అంటే ఈజీగా ఫ్రీగా మూవ్ అవుతుంది. సో ఫ్రీగా ఈ ఎంఎల్ అనేది మూవ్ అవుతుంది. సో అంటే దాని అర్థం ఈజీగా రియాక్ట్ అవుతుంది. సో ఇది అన్స్టేబుల్ అనమాట, ఉన్న కాడ ఒక దగ్గర ఉండదు, అన్స్టేబుల్. సో యూ హ్యావ్ టు అండర్స్టూడ్ దాట్. సో అన్స్టేబుల్ దట్ ఈస్ రియాక్టివ్. ఇఫ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ ఇన్నర్ట్ అంటే ఎవరితో రియాక్ట్ అవ్వదు, దీంతో కూడా రియాక్ట్ అవ్వదు. So it will never undergo substitution reaction, that is unreactive or stable here. So the energy required for the labile complex which is very less here. So it require very low activation energy. It require very low activation energy. But here it requires very high activation energy. So why here it require very high activation energy? Very high activation energy. So what is the reason here? Because it is completely inert. Inert అంటే ఎవరితో రియాక్ట్ అవ్వదు, అయినా కూడా మనకు సబ్స్టిట్యూషన్ రియాక్షన్ జరగాలి. సో తప్పదు, మనకు రియాక్షన్ జరగాలంటే ఏం చేయాలి? అప్పుడు అది ఇనర్ట్ అయినా కూడా, స్టేబుల్ గా ఉన్నా కూడా, అన్రియాక్టివ్ ఉన్నా కూడా మనం అది సబ్స్టిట్యూషన్ రియాక్షన్ చేయాలి. సో ఎలా చేస్తాము అంటే, సో వీ హ్యావ్ టు బ్రేక్ దిస్ బాండ్ విత్ బై సప్లయింగ్ సమ్ అమౌంట్ ఆఫ్ హీట్ ఎనర్జీ. So we need to apply more amount of energy comparing with the labile complex. So labile complex కంటే మనం ఇంకా ఎక్కువ ఎనర్జీ ఇవ్వాల్సి వస్తుంది. సో దట్ ఈస్ అ హై యాక్టివేషన్ ఎనర్జీ. సో ఆ మాలిక్యూల్స్ ని, రియాక్టెంట్ మాలిక్యూల్స్ ని యాక్టివేట్ చేయాలంటే ఇంకా ఎక్కువ ఎనర్జీ ఇవ్వాల్సి వస్తుంది. సో దట్ ఈస్ అ ఇనర్ట్ కాంప్లెక్స్. సో హియర్ యూ కెన్ అండర్స్టాండ్ దట్ దెర్ ఈస్ అ ఇంటరాక్షన్ బిట్వీన్ దిస్ మెటల్ అండ్ ద లిగాండ్. దే ఆర్ వెరీ వీక్. So then only we need only very less amount of energy. So they can easily react with any other ligand. So they can easily undergo substitution reaction. So they can easily undergo substitution reactions. But here the interactions of metal and the ligand. So interactions of the metal and the ligand very strong. So then only it need very high activation energy. It is completely stable, which is unreactive, inert. So we have to supply high amount of energy. So if the interactions between this metal and the ligand which are very strong, so that means it cannot undergo substitution reaction. So there is no substitution reaction. So there is no substitution reaction in case of the inert complex. So that is a labile complex. So here it is a labile complex and the inert complex. So remember that labile which indicates the unstable and the inert which indicates stable in case of the kinetic stability. So we will understand this kinetic stability by using different theories here. So here I told you about the thermodynamic stability, that is decided with the activation energy. That is decided with the Gibbs free energy. But here the kinetic stability, it is decided with the activation energy. And here this kinetic stability which is labile and inert. So here the labile and inert here, so that actually we can understand this particular kinetic stability with two theories. So what are the theories here? And you know that generally it is a VBT theory and the CFT theory. So by using this VBT theory and even VBT theory and also with the CFT theory, so VBT and the CFT theory, so this kinetic stability, it can explain with VBT theory, that is valence bond theory. It includes simply hybridization. But here it includes, that is crystal field theory. So you can call it as a CFT theory. And here this completely explain about the splitting pattern, the crystal field splitting pattern. So I will tell you exactly the crystal field theory and the VBT theory. So after the understanding of this particular valence band theory and the crystal field theory, so we can decide so which one is labile. So which one is labile according to VBT theory, which one is a labile and which one is inert, which one is again the labile and the inert. We will understand this inert and labile. So we have to decide that a particular complex is reactive or not, a particular complex is stable or not, so particular complex is labile or inert. So that can be understand with VBT theory and the CFT theory. So let us understand this thing also. So here you have to understand that. Let us start with the VBT theory. We'll understand the kinetic stability by using VBT theory, and we will see in the next session, that is the CFT theory, crystal field theory. Now here the VBT theory, mostly the VBT theory, it simply explain about the hybridization. So generally, we will deal with the metal complexes with the geometry of these three types. One is tetrahedral, and the second one, which is tetrahedral, then which is a square planar, and the last one, which is octahedral. So these are the major structures generally you will mostly seen with the complexes. So here the tetrahedral, the hybridization, which is sp3, a square planar, that is dsp2, and octahedral, which is again two types. One is sp3d2 and the second one, which is d2 sp3. So here sp3d2, which is also called outer orbital complex, and this is called inner orbital complex. This is called inner orbital complex. So let us understand the kinetic stability, that is labile or inert, that can be understand with the VBT theory. So VBT theory, it simply indicates about the hybridization. So if it is tetrahedral, or it may be square planar or octahedral. If it is particularly a tetrahedral, then the geometry will be sp3. If it is square planar, then the geometry which is dsp2. If it is octahedral, and you will get the two separate hybridization, that is sp3d2 and the d2sp3 here. So I will show you the tetrahedral and the square planar and octahedral geometries here. So see here, see the geometries of them. See the octahedral geometry and the tetrahedral geometry here. So see here. So particularly this is the octahedral geometry here. So there are 6 ligands are there. So this is a square plane here, and this is one ligand, another ligand. So this is SF6. So whatever may be, let us understand the octahedral geometry. It is not a complex here, but even though we have to understand the geometry, that is octahedral and the tetrahedral. So if it is an octahedral means actually the octahedral. What is the octahedral? Octa, that is 8 hedrals. So 8 triangular faces are there actually. So how can we see this 8 triangular faces here? See here, there is a first square plane here, and then upper, which is 1 fluorine, and lower with 1 fluorine here. And each fluorine, here the upper and the lower. Here in case of the octahedral, actually there are 2 types of ligands are there. So those 2 types of ligands are simply 2 types. So one is actually the axial ligands, and second one, which is equatorial ligands. So axial are actually 2 ligands are there, equatorial are 4 are there, totally 6 ligands are there in a octahedral geometry. So these two are called axial here. Axial at a straight round. So idi axial. This one and this one, this is a axial ligand. Now what about the particularly, this is that equatorial ligand. So what about the equatorial here? So this is a equatorial ligand. So that is this one. This is the equatorial. This is the equatorial ligand. So whatever this square planar 4 fluorines are equatorial. This is the equatorial, and equatorial. So those are equatorial ligand. So generally the distance of the axial and the equatorial both are actually same. So both are actually they are same here. So both are actually same, the distance. So then only it is called the octahedral geometry here. So again, the octahedral geometry, it generally, so octahedral geometry, the hybridization actually it is sp3d2 or d2sp3. Now what about the tetrahedral? So tetrahedral, which is the structure will be like this. This is the methane, simple methane, but the structure will be like this. So here you can see here. So this is a methane structure. This is also methane structure, tetrahedral. So here the name which is tetrahedral, which is octahedral here. So octa, that is 8 hedrals here. 8 faces are there. So see here, what are the number of faces here? You can see here the number of faces here. So that is, this is one face here. You can see here the side face here. And you have to understand one thing, that it is a square plane here. This is a square plane, upper one ligand and the lower one ligand. So the upper ligand, the axial ligand, it is attached with four fluorines here. So now you are getting 4 faces here. So that is this one here. This is one face here, front face here. This is a right side face here. This is a left side face here. And there is also the back side face also there. There is a back side also, one of the face here. That is 4 triangular faces on upper side, and lower side also there will be four faces are there. Completely totally 8 faces are there. That is the octahedral here. Octahedral. Again you can see the tetrahedral, that is 4 faces. So this is one face here, this is the second face, and this is the left. This is completely, which is our side, this is the third face, and the bottom one which is fourth face. There are 4 faces are there, hence it is a tetrahedral here. So the geometry which is tetrahedral like this. So most of the complexes generally they may be octahedral or square planar or tetrahedral. So octahedral generally, octahedral which is the geometry which is the hybridization which is sp3d2 or d2sp3. But here the tetrahedral actually which is sp3 here, and the square planar, this is dsp2. Now we have to understand this VBT theory. So we have to understand the kinetic stability according to VBT here. So let us understand the labile or inertness of this particular complexes, that is octahedral and tetrahedral and the square planar according to VBT theory. So according to VBT theory. So see here. So according to VBT theory, now you have to understand one thing. There are 3 types of geometries are there. That is tetrahedral, square planar, and the octahedral. So now I will tell you one thing here. So that is tetrahedral and even square planar, both are actually, they are completely labile, that is unstable, and that is reactive. They can easily undergo substitution reaction. They can easily undergo substitution reaction. But in case of the octahedral, so this is according to VBT theory. This is VBT theory. VBT theory. So this is tetrahedral, this is sp3 hybridization, and this is dsp2 hybridization. But in case of the octahedral, there will be 2 types of geometries, sp3d2 and d2sp3. And see here, sp3d2 and d2sp3. And sp3d2, this is called the outer orbital complex, and this is actually this is actually labile. So sp3d2, which is actually it is a labile complex, and d2sp3, which is actually inert complex. So that means inert means that is stable here, that is unreactive, and here labile means that is unstable, that is reactive. It can easily undergo substitution reaction. So why? What is the reason here? So according to VBT theory, the tetrahedral, square planar, so generally they are labile complexes. They are unstable. They can easily react. They can easily undergo substitution reaction comparing with the octahedral. So octahedral, so sometimes it may be stable or sometimes it may be unstable here. So you can understand in a two ways here. So here sp3d2 and d2sp3. So there are two types of hybridations here. So some complexes, they may be labile and they may be inert. Some complexes, they may be unstable, they may easily undergo substitution reaction, and some may they not here. They may not undergo substitution reaction here. But in case of the tetrahedral and the square planar, they can easily undergo substitution reaction. Why? What is the reason here? So let us understand the reason for this. So here, let us take the square planar. So square planar is nothing. There is a metal and the ligand and the ligand like this. And you can easily understand this. This is a square planar complex. And you can write, if you can take the tetrahedral also. There is a metal and there is a 4 ligands like this. 4 ligands like this. So you can easily understand this, the tetrahedral structure here. So here the square planar. So you can see one thing here, that this square planar, it can easily undergo substitution reaction. Easily undergo substitution reaction. Why? What is the reason here? Because see here, there are 4 ligands. They are like this. So what is the role of ligand here? Nothing but there is a metal, it is having an empty orbital, and the ligand, which is always having the lone pair of electron. This lone pair of electron must donate into the vacant orbital of metal. Then only it is called the metal complex. Metal complex here. So here the ligand must donate their lone pair of electrons to the vacant d orbital of the metal. So then only it is a metal complex here. So here this ligand is donating its lone pair of electrons like this. So here also it is donating. Here also it is donating. And here also it is donating. So it is donating. And square planar, it is nothing but complete, it is a planar structure. So now here you have to understand that it must undergo substitution reaction. So there is Y, which is another ligand which is coming like this. So there is a chance to come this particular Y ligand from different sides here. సో అంటే ఈ Y అనేది ఎక్కడి నుంచైనా రావచ్చు. సో ఎందుకంటే ఇది కంప్లీట్ గా ప్లేనార్ స్ట్రక్చర్. సో పై నుంచి Y అనేది ఇట్లా వచ్చి ఇక్కడ మెటల్ కి అటాచ్ అవ్వచ్చు. అలానే ఇక్కడ కూడా ఈ సైడ్ నుంచి రావచ్చు Y అనే లిగెండ్. సో ఏదన్నా ఒక లిగెండ్ వచ్చి మధ్యలో వచ్చి డిస్టర్బ్ చేయవచ్చు. బట్ ఇన్ కేస్ ఆఫ్ ద ఆక్టాహెడ్రల్ దట్ ఈస్ కంప్లీట్లీ డిఫరెంట్. సో ఆక్టాహెడ్రల్ అంటే ఎలా ఉంటుంది అంటే యూ విల్ గెట్ ద స్ట్రక్చర్ లైక్ దిస్. Ligand and the ligand like this, and there is a central metal atom, and there is a upper one ligand and lower another ligand. And see here you can easily understand this. So square planar lo complete గా ఆ ప్లేన్ లో మొత్తం లిగాండ్స్ ఉన్నాయి. అలానే ఇంకా అగైన్ టూ కూడా ఇంకా ఈజీగా ఉన్నాయి, ఎక్స్ట్రా కూడా ఉన్నాయి. సో అండ్ యూ కెన్ ఈజీలీ అండర్స్టాండ్ దట్ ఈచ్ లిగాండ్ ఈస్ డొనేటింగ్ ఇట్స్ లోన్ పేర్ ఆఫ్ ఎలక్ట్రాన్. Each ligand is donating its lone pair of electrons. Each ligand is donating their lone pair of electrons like this. Now here the question is that, so it may not undergo the substitution reaction. Substitution reaction. So the substitution reaction, it may happen or not. So here there are two ways here. So here the substitution reaction, sometimes it may undergo substitution reaction, sometimes not. So, but moreover, it feels difficult to undergo substitution reaction because, so there are 6 sides here. So there is a 6 sides with 6 ligands are there. So there is no way to come with another ligand. So let us take, there is a Y. Y is a ligand which must substituted at this particular complex. So it must have substituted in this particular complex. అది ఇక్కడ వచ్చి సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ అవ్వాలి, దేన్ని రిప్లేస్ చేయాలి. రిప్లేస్ అవ్వాలంటే ఏదో ఒక దగ్గర నుంచి రావాలి. సో ఎట్ సైడ్ నుంచి వస్తుంది, అన్ని సైడ్ల లిగాండే ఆక్యుపై చేసింది. అన్ని లిగాండ్స్ లో కూడా ఎలక్ట్రాన్సే ఉంటాయి. ఈ లిగాండ్ కూడా ఎలక్ట్రాన్సే ఉన్నాయి. సో అది కూడా ఎలక్ట్రాన్స్ వచ్చి దీని నుంచి ఈ లిగాండ్ దాటి లోపలికి పోలేదు. సో దిస్ లిగాండ్ ఫీల్స్ డిఫికల్ట్ టు ఎంటర్ ద కాంప్లెక్స్ కోఆర్డినేషన్ స్పియర్. సో హెన్స్ ద సబ్స్టిట్యూషన్ రియాక్షన్ ఇట్ మే నాట్ అక్కర్. But in case of the octahedral, this is completely different. So there is no this upper axial ligand. So there is no axial ligand in case of the In case of the square planar, see here in the square planar, so this is a square planar. So there is no ligand, which is upside, there is no ligand. So this Y may come here and it may come even with a downside. Hence the square planar and octahedral, they can easily undergo substitution reaction. They can undergo substitution reaction. But VBT theory, according to VBT theory, you can explain this. So here the square planar, tetrahedral, they can undergo substitution reaction, but octahedral not. Octahedral, they do not undergo substitution reaction. They may undergo or they may not. అంటే జరగచ్చు జరగకపోవచ్చు. సో octahedral లో మనకు two ways ఉన్నాయి. సో octahedral లో మనకు two ways ఉన్నాయి. That is sp3d2 and the second one which is d2sp3. So sp3d2, these are called outer orbital complex. So, and here which is inner orbital complex. And here outer orbital complex, actually they are labile. So that is reactive. But here which is inert, which is completely unreactive. So inert is nothing but which is stable here. Labile is nothing but unstable here. So let us see the sp3d2, d2sp3 with one particular example so that you can easily understand this. So I will show you these two diagrams once again. See here the diagrams of this. See the diagrams of this. So see here. So this is the octahedral. There are 6 ligands are there. There is no way to come with another ligand. సో ఇంకొక లిగండ్ వచ్చి దీనిలో దూరాలంటే చాలా కష్టం అన్నమాట. ఎందుకంటే ఇక్కడ ఆల్రెడీ మనకు, సో చూడండి, సో ఇక్కడ ఆల్రెడీ 6 లిగాండ్స్ ఉన్నాయి. 6 లిగాండ్స్ కూడా రౌండ్ అప్ మొత్తం సరౌండ్ చేసినాయి మెటల్ కి. సో అలాంటప్పుడు ఇంకొక లిగాండ్ వచ్చి సబ్స్టిట్యూషన్ చేయడానికి అంత ఛాయిస్ లేదు. బట్ అదే టెట్రాహైడ్రల్ లో చూడండి, ఈ సైడ్ నుంచి రావచ్చు, ఈ సైడ్ నుంచి రావచ్చు, ఏదో ఒక సైడ్ నుంచి వచ్చి దూరవచ్చు ఇందులో నుంచి. బట్ ఆక్టాహైడ్రల్ లో కష్టమవుతుంది. ఈవెన్ స్క్వేర్ ప్లేనర్ it can easily undergo substitution reaction. Square planar అంటే this is square planar అంతే. సో అప్పర్ ఖాళీగానే ఉంది, లోయర్ ఖాళీగానే ఉంది. సో the ligand, whatever the replace the substituted ligand, so whatever the substituted ligand, that must, they may come, the ligand may come in with this upper side or lower side, ఎట్నుంచైనా వచ్చి substitute చేయొచ్చు. So that is the square planar and the tetrahedral. But octahedral, so it may undergo substitution reaction or not. So that we will explain with the VBT theory with sp3d2 and sp3d2sp3. So let us understand these two things. So let us try to understand this sp3d2 and d2sp3. sp3d2. sp3d2, I will tell you at a time with this 2 sp3d2 d2sp3. So we will understand these two things at a time here. And let us take 2 examples for this. So let us take 2 examples for this. That is d2sp3 and sp3d2. So d2sp3 and sp3d2. So most of the cases, the inner sphere and the outer sphere. So here it is sp3d2. So this is sp3d2. So let us write one example. So I will take the best example, which is with the Fe cyanide, which is 6 with -4. And here I will take the example with even with the iron with H2O taken 6 with +2. So see the difference between these two things here. So here the iron charge which is +2 here. So see here, you know that this is +2. 6 minus 4 +2. Here 0 +2, that is +2. Iron is in both the cases, that is iron with the +2 here. Now let us understand here the iron electronic configuration. What is iron electronic configuration? That is 26, the atomic number. So simply it is 3d6 4s2. So 3d6 4s2, it is the electronic configuration of the iron. But here in case of this particular two complexes, it is +2 charge. That means we have to remove 2 electrons. So let us write these two electronic configuration. So let us write first, this is Fe, and 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 2 3 4 2 3 4 5. It is sp3d2. 1 2 3 4 5. 1 2 3 4 5. Because particularly you have to write these two orbitals here. So that is it is 3d, and it is 4s, and this is 4p, and this is 4d. And even you can write in that case also. So this is iron plus Fe plus 2. This is 4d here. And this is iron with the general electronic configuration, that is 26 here, Fe. So you can write like this as 3d6 4s2. 1 2 3 4 5 and the 6, 3d6, and this is 4s2. So after the excitation, after the in presence of the that is in case of the metal complex, the charge of the iron which is +2. So that means you have to remove 2 electrons. So simply 1 2 3 4 5 and again 6, and we have to remove this 2 electrons. Okay, that is enough. And next, so in presence of the cyanide ligand, so in presence of the cyanide ligand, so what happens here? So the cyanide actually, so it is a strong field ligand. So what happens here? So in case of the cyanide here, cyanide is a strong field ligand. So I will tell you two things here. One is weak field ligand, and the second one which is strong field ligand. So weak field ligands and strong field ligands, there are two types of ligand. So weak field ligands are best example, that is water and all the halogen, that is fluorine, bromine, iodine. These are weak field ligands. But the strong field ligands, the best example, that is cyanide, CO. These are the strong field ligands. So what is the difference between these two things here? So the cyanide and the strong field ligand and the weak field ligand. What is the major difference between these two things? So very simple. Weak field complexes will follow Kunz rule. They will follow Kunz rule, but they do not follow Kunz rule. They do not follow Kunz rule here. So what is Hund's rule here? That is, no two electrons can enter into a same orbital at a time. So రెండు ఎలక్ట్రాన్స్ ఒకేసారి ఎక్కడ కూడా ఎంటర్ కావు. సో అదే హున్స్ రూల్లో అగైనెస్ట్ హున్స్ రూల్ అంటే మేబీ 2 electrons can enter into a orbital at a time. So let us understand these two things, Hund's rule and against Hund's rule. So let us take the weak field ligand and the strong field ligand. And this particularly the first case, which is with the cyanide here. So that is cyanide, that is a strong field ligand. So cyanide, which is a strong field ligand. So what happens here? So in presence of the cyanide, which is a strong field ligand, it doesn't follow Hund's rule. So there are 6 ligands are there. So in presence of the cyanide here, in presence of the cyanide, this Fe plus 2, in presence of the cyanide, what happens? It doesn't follow Hund's rule. So the 6 electrons, they never fill like this. They will fill like this. So I will fill these 6 electrons like this. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and the 6. The electrons will fill like this. But if it is Hund's rule, I will write this another example like this. See here. Let us take, there are 6 electrons. So if it is following Hund's rule, what happens? The electrons will fill like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. The electrons will fill like this if it is a Hund's rule. But if it is a strong field ligand, they will not follow this Hund's rule. They will fill like this. Completely 2 electrons can enter into a same orbital at a time. So ఒకటే ఆర్బిటాల్ లోకి ఫస్ట్ 2, తర్వాత 2, తర్వాత 2, 2, 2, 2 అలా నిండిపోతుంది. So see here, how many here vacant orbitals are there? How many here vacant orbitals are there? So see here, there is a vacancy here. So this vacant orbital from here to here, D2sp3, it will undergo the D2sp3 hybridization. So it will undergo the D2sp3 hybridization. So here you have to understand these two things here. So it is D2sp3 hybridization. This is called actually inner orbital complex. Inner orbital complex. So why it is an inner orbital complex, I will tell you here. So let us remove the second complex. I will tell you the second complex after this. So let us remove this weak field, that is H2O. So let us see the D2sp3. This is not sp3d2, this is D2sp3. And see here, in case of the D2sp3, what actually you have to remember, what actually you have to see here. So that is, in case of the D2sp3, you have to understood that. So here first actually this is 3D. So because the electronic configuration which is 3d6 4s2. This is 3d6 4s2, and this is 4p and 4d. Actually you don't need this particular 4d, so I will remove even this thing also. And see here. So this is 4s and 4p. And here it will undergo D2sp3. So what are the D2 here? That is 3D and 4s and 4p. So here I can write this as n-1d ns np. So that is n-1 d2 sp3. So I can write like this: n-1 d2 ns np3. So this is actually called inner orbital complex. Inner orbital complex. Inner orbital complex here. So because here the D orbit which is 3D series. అంటే S ఆర్బిట్ అండ్ P ఆర్బిట్ వచ్చేసరికి 4th ఆర్బిట్ వస్తుంది, కానీ D కి వచ్చేసరికి ఇంకొకటి ముందు ఆర్బిట్ వస్తుంది, అందుకే దాన్ని ఇన్నర్ అన్నాం. సో ఇన్నర్ అని పర్టికులర్ గా ఇక్కడ ఎందుకు అనాలి అంటే, సో D అనేది ముందున్న ఇన్నర్ ఆర్బిట్ అంతా ఇక్కడ హైబ్రిడైజేషన్ అవుతుంది. సో ఇక్కడ ఏంటి అంటే NS NP 4s ఉంది 4p ఉంది, కానీ D వచ్చేసరికి 3D వచ్చింది. సో ఇన్నర్ ఆర్బిటాల్. అదే ఒకవేళ అవుటర్ ఆర్బిటల్ కాంప్లెక్స్ అంటే NS NP ND. దిస్ ఇస్ ద అవుటర్ ఆర్బిటల్ కాంప్లెక్స్. ఇక్కడ 4s అవుతుంది, ఇక్కడ 4p అవుతుంది, ఇక్కడ 4D అవుతుంది. సో అది అప్పుడు అవుటర్ ఆర్బిటల్ కాంప్లెక్స్. బట్ దిస్ ఇస్ అవుటర్ ఆర్బిటల్, బట్ హియర్ దిస్ ఇస్ ద ఇన్నర్ ఆర్బిటల్ కాంప్లెక్స్, ఎందుకంటే ముందు ఉన్నదే వస్తుంది నాకు. సో దిస్ పర్టికులర్ ఇన్నర్ ఆర్బిటల్ కాంప్లెక్స్ ఎప్పుడు వస్తాయి? సో ఎప్పుడు జనరల్లీ ఇన్నర్ ఆర్బిటల్ కాంప్లెక్సెస్ జనరల్లీ ఉంటాయి అంటే, వెనెవర్ ద లిగాండ్స్ ఆర్ స్ట్రాంగ్ ఫీల్డ్ లిగాండ్స్. సో వెనెవర్ ద లిగాండ్స్ ఆర్ స్ట్రాంగ్ ఫీల్డ్ లిగాండ్. సో స్ట్రాంగ్ ఫీల్డ్ లిగాండ్స్ ఉంటే, స్ట్రాంగ్ ఫీల్డ్ లిగాండ్, సో స్ట్రాంగ్ ఫీల్డ్ లిగాండ్స్ ఉంటే లైక్ సైనైడ్, CO. So if there are strong field ligands, they definitely they do not follow Hund's rule. So they do not follow Hund's rule. So they do not follow Hund's rule, so that all the electrons can be paired up together. So Hund's rule follow కాబట్టి అవి రెండు ఎలక్ట్రాన్స్ కంప్లీట్ గా నింపుకుంటున్నాయి. సో 2 2 2 వచ్చేసరికి ఇక్కడ మనకి 2 ఇక్కడ వేకెంట్ అవుతున్నాయి. సో ఇక్కడ వచ్చిన వేకెన్సీ ఏదైతే ఉందో, సో వాట్ ఎవర్ ద వేకెన్సీ హియర్, so you can understand the vacancy here. This is a one vacancy, this is another vacancy, here also vacancy. So there are 6 vacancy are there. So there are 6 cyanide ligands are there. So here it will come with another ligand, here also this ligand, cyanide and cyanide, cyanide and the cyanide. So 6 cyanide ligands, they will come and they will approach into this orbital, and they can donate their lone pair of electrons to this empty D orbital, empty hybridized orbital. So that is a D2sp3 hybridization. with strong field ligand. With strong field ligand, it is a strong field ligand, and it is also called inner orbital complex. It is also called inner orbital complex, and this particularly it is also called a low spin complex. It is also called even also called that is low spin complex. So why it is called particularly this is a low spin complex? The spin which is completely very low here. Why it is very low here? Very low spin complex with a strong field ligand. So why? What is the reason for the low spin? So spin is nothing but the spin quantum number. It may be plus half. Generally, it is a plus half or minus half. So you can see here the plus half minus half here. So there are 6 electrons are there. So here this is a plus half, and that is again minus half. This is plus half minus half plus half minus half. You will completely you will get the zero spin 0 0 0. So completely you will get the total spin as a zero here. Hence it is a low spin complex, and there is no lone electron here. Hence this particular complex is a diamagnetic substance. Diamagnetic complex here. So this is completely the VBT theory for the octahedral complexes with D2sp3 hybridization. Now here I need to understand that is it a labile or inert? Is it a labile or inert? According to kinetics aspects. So is it is reactive or not? So that you have to understand this thing here. So in case of the kinetic stability, so we are explaining the kinetic stability by using the VBT theory. Now here this particular complex is it is labile or inert. So it may be labile or inert. So that we will understand here. So it may be labile or inert here. So let us understand this thing here also. So labile or inert. So let us write this again. FeCN6 -2. So I'm reacting with any whatever I will react with chlorine here. So what happens? I need actually the product like this. FeCN5 chlorine -2 plus cyanide minus. So you will get the final product actually like this. So you have to get the final product like this. So this is a reaction, and this is again substitution reaction. Substitution reaction. Now see, you have to understand this thing here. So it is a reactive or not. So this is a substitution reaction. You have to see the stability of this. So if it is stable, that means that it is inert. So the reaction will never occur here. So but if it is unstable, it can easily react with this chlorine, and the chlorine it may be easily replaced with this cyanide, and you will get the final product. But here according to VBT, this particular complex is completely inert. It is stable here. It is stable here because this chloride, now this chloride ion, the chlorine ligand is coming like this. Now see here, the particularly this ligand chlorine is coming into this particular complex. So what happens here? So this chlorine may approach this particular complex in different directions here, but there is no place, there is no available empty orbitals so that this chlorine can donate their lone pair of electrons. So ఇక్కడ చూడండి మొత్తం ఎలక్ట్రాన్స్ అన్ని నిండిపోయినాయి. సో దెర్ ఇస్ నో అన్ ఎంటీ ఆర్బిటాల్ ఇక్కడ లేదు. సో ఈ క్లోరిన్ ఒకవేళ డొనేట్ చేసిన ఈ మెటల్ లో ఐరన్ లో దెర్ ఇస్ నో ఎంటీ ఆర్బిటాల్. సో దెర్ ఇస్ నో హైబ్రిడైజ్డ్ ఎంటీ ఆర్బిటాల్. So that this chlorine it cannot attach at this particular central metal ion. So ఈ ఐరన్ కు ఈ క్లోరిన్ వచ్చి అటాచ్ కాదు. సో అసలు ఆక్టాహెడ్రల్ కాంప్లెక్సెస్ సబ్స్టిట్యూషన్ రియాక్షన్స్ జరగవు. ఎందుకంటే ద స్ట్రక్చర్ విచ్ ఈస్ హైలీ కండెన్స్డ్. మొత్తం ఒకటి దగ్గర 6 లిగాండ్స్ ఉంటాయి. సో ఆక్టాహెడ్రల్ అంటేనే 6 లిగాండ్. సో 6 లిగాండ్స్ మొత్తం ప్లేనార్ గా 4 ఉంటాయి, దట్ ఈస్ ఈక్విటోరియల్ లిగాండ్స్. సో మళ్ళీ పైన ఒకటి కింద ఒకటి యాక్సియల్ లిగాండ్స్ ఉన్నాయి. సో క్లోరిన్ అనేది ఇంకొక 7 ఆల్రెడీ 6 లిగాండ్స్ ఉన్నాయి. ఇప్పుడు 7th లిగాండ్ వచ్చి దీన్ని డిస్టర్బ్ చేయాలి. సో 7th లిగాండ్ ఫస్ట్ వచ్చి ఇక్కడ అటాచ్ కావాలి అంటే ఇక్కడ ఖాళీ ఉండాలి, ఏమన్నా అక్కడ ఎంటీ ఆర్బిటల్స్ ఉండాలి. దెర్ ఇస్ నో ఎంటీ ఆర్బిటల్. సో ఇట్ విల్ నెవర్ అటాచ్ దిస్. So that means this is a stable complex. Stable complex is nothing but it is a inert complex. It is inert complex. So completely it is a inert complex. It is a inert. It means that it is unreactive. It will never undergo substitution reaction. This reaction will not occur here. because of the non-availability of d orbitals. So that is the kinetic stability of this particular complex according to VBT theory. Now let us understand the another hybridization, which is sp3d2 also. sp3d2 sp3d2. So I will take the another example, that is Fe6 with +2 here. So this is the another example, sp3d2 with FeS2O6 with +2. This is a weak field complex. Now let us again, we will also write again those structures. So again I will write the structures of 3D, 4S, 4P and 4D here. So let us write the structures also. So first, actually this is iron, that is 26. Again that is 3D6, 4S2 this is, and the iron electronic configuration. So I will write first the orbitals. So I will write all the orbitals. Then you can easily understand this. And let us write this orbital names here. And this is 3D. This is 3D and 4S, 4P, and this is 4D. So iron, first the electronic configuration, which is 26, that is 3D6, 4S2. Now I will fill these electrons. So particularly I will fill these these 6 electrons like this. So first, which is 6 electrons, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 4s2. So these 2 electrons like this again. And next, so this is the general electronic configuration of the iron. Now this iron, particularly which Fe+2 oxidation state. So now we have to remove these 2 electrons. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we are removing 2 electrons like this. So we are removing these 2 electrons. So next, so this iron Fe+2 in presence of the water here, in presence of the water here. So you can understand one thing here, that if it is a weak field ligand, then it definitely follows Hund's rule. It follows Hund's rule. That means here, so Fe+2, here the water is a weak field ligand. So it must follow Hund's rule. So that means the 6 electrons will completely follow Hund's rule. It means that no 2 electrons can enter an orbital, same orbital at a time. So you can easily understand this. So I need to introduce the 6 electrons in the same orbital. You can easily understand this. That is 6 electrons. 1. If it is not following Hund's rule, ఒకవేళ ఫాలో అవ్వకపోతే సెకండ్ కూడా ఇక్కడే వచ్చేది, బట్ అది వీక్ ఫీల్డ్ కాబట్టి 2. సెకండ్ ది నెక్స్ట్ ఆర్బిటాల్కి వెళ్ళిపోయింది. ఎందుకంటే హున్స్ రూల్ అంటేనే అది నో 2 electrons కెన్ ఎంటర్ ఇంటూ ఏ సేమ్ ఆర్బిటాల్ ఎట్ ఏ టైం. ఒకటేసారి ఒకటే ఆర్బిటాల్లో 2 ఎలక్ట్రాన్లు పట్టవు. సో అది హున్స్ రూల్. బట్ ఇది వీక్ ఫీల్డ్ కాబట్టి ఇది హున్స్ రూల్ ఫాలో అవుతుంది. సో యూ విల్ గెట్ లైక్ దిస్ 3, 4, 5 and 6. సో 6 electrons అయిపోయింది. సో నౌ అయిపోయింది. So it will undergo the hybridization. Now this is a hybridization part here, and here the hybridization, this is completely with sp3d2, and this sp3d2, this is the 3d series, and this, sorry, this is not 3d, this is 4s, 4p, and this is 4d. This is 4d. And see here what happens here. So whenever all the 6 water molecules, so see what happens here. So 6 water molecule, they will come here. Water molecule, here also one water molecule, sp3d2 here. So actually it will undergo the sp3 hybridization from here to here, only up to this. So that is sp3d2 hybridization. Now you can easily understand this thing here. So because, so these 6 water molecules, they will come with their lone pair of electrons and they will enter here. 6 water molecules, they will enter here, and you will get the final structure with the octahedral. Now see here, there is again 3 vacant orbitals. Even after the formation of bonding with the water molecule, there is a 3 vacant orbitals here. So there is a 3 vacant orbitals here. You can see here, that is 1, 2, 3. There is a vacancy here, so that it can easily interact with any other ligand. So let us try to write with other electrons. So let us try to write the substitution reaction. Now, but you have to understand that this particular complex is a sp3d2 hybridized complex, and this is called the outer orbital complex. So see, so here I will write all those things, the points here, that is, it is outer orbital complex. It is an outer orbital complex. So because the hybridization which is 4s, 4p and 4d, but in case of the inner orbital, that is 3d, 4s, 4p, but the whatever the d అనేది ముందు ఆర్బిటాల్లో వస్తుంది, ఇక్కడ అదే ఆర్బిటాల్లో వస్తుంది, దట్ ఈస్ అవుటర్ ఆర్బిటాల్. సో ఇది ఎప్పుడు వస్తుంది అంటే, దట్ ఈస్ విత్ వీక్ ఫీల్డ్ లిగాండ్, the example like water molecule and halogens like fluorine, chlorine, bromine, like this. And it is particularly, this is called high spin complex. So why it is called high spin complex? So here, see here, there are 4 lone pair of electrons here. So this is paired electrons, completely it is a lone pair. So you will get the spin as plus half, minus half for this. So that is 0 here. This is plus half, this is plus half, this is plus half, this is plus half. That is plus half, plus half, plus half, and plus half. So 1 plus 1, you will get 2 here. The spin value here, the total spin, that is 2 as a quantum number. So hence it is a high spin complex. So it is high spin complex. Generally, high spin complex is produced when in presence of the weak field ligands. So that is a high spin complex. Now let us write the substitution reaction for this. So I will write the substitution reaction for this. So let us write the substitution reaction. So that is here Fe S2O 6, and which is plus 2. It is reacting with any other ligand. Let us write ammonia. So whatever may be. So here it should react with this ammonia, and you should get the product like this. So this is water exchange reaction. So water is exchanged with ammonia here. So this is one of the substitution reaction. This substitution reaction కావాలి. ఇప్పుడు ఎందుకు అంటే వీఆర్ స్టడీయింగ్ ద కైనెటిక్ స్టెబిలిటీ ఆఫ్ ది పర్టిక్యులర్ కాంప్లెక్స్. సో ఇది కాంప్లెక్స్ కైనెటిక్, ఇది మన పర్టిక్యులర్ కాంప్లెక్స్. ఇది స్టేబుల్ గా ఉందా లేదా? సో హౌ కెన్ వి నో దట్? ఈ కాంప్లెక్స్ అనేది మన కాంప్లెక్స్ మనం చదవాలనుకుంది. కైనెటిక్ స్టెబిలిటీ చూడాల్సింది దానికి. సో కైనెటిక్ స్టెబిలిటీ ఇప్పుడు దానికి ఉందా లేదా? సో కైనెటికల్లీ స్టేబుల్. సో అంటే కైనెటికల్లీ స్టేబుల్ అంటే ఆ ప్రోడక్ట్ అక్కడ రియాక్టెంట్ అనేది స్టేబుల్ గా ఉంది అంటే అది రియాక్ట్ అవ్వదు, దట్ ఈస్ అన్రియాక్టివ్. సో హియర్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు అండర్స్టాండ్ దట్ sp3d2, this is actually the high spin complex. There is a vacant 3 orbital, there is vacant 3 orbital. So this ns3, there it is having the lone pair of electron, it can enter into this 3 vacant orbital. So that means it can easily react with this iron here. So it can easily interact with this metal complex and it can easily undergo substitution reaction. So that means here this ns3, it may easily substitute with this water molecule and you will get the final product. So that means it is a labile complex. So that is, it means it is a labile complex. It means it is a labile complex. So labile, it is nothing but it is reactive. It is reactive. Reactive, it is nothing but it is unstable complex. Unstable complex. It is an unstable complex. It is a labile. It is reactive because it is reacting with ammonia. It is easily reacting with ammonia. The reason because it is having an empty orbital. So it can easily interact with this and you will get the final product. So the kinetic stability of this particular complex. So this particular complex is a kinetically labile, kinetically unstable. But that we are explained by using the VBT theory. So that is the VBT theory. So once again, I will tell you the kinetic stability according to VBT theory. So the kinetic stability actually this is two types. So that is two types actually. So what are the two types here? So that is labile and inert. Labile and inert. So this labile and inert, that can be explained with two theories, that is VBT and CFT theory. So labile is nothing but it is a unstable. Unstable, that is reactive. But here inert means that is a stable and it is unreactive. Unreactive. So in what? Reactive is nothing but in a substitution reaction like Ml, if it is reacting with Y and you are getting the product as My plus L. This is one of the substitution reaction. ఈ రియాక్షన్ లో సో ఈ ప్రొడక్ట్ ఈ రియాక్టెంట్ యొక్క స్టెబిలిటీ గురించి కైనెటిక్ స్టెబిలిటీ మాట్లాడతాం మనం. సో ఇది లెబైల్ అనుకోండి, లెబైల్ అంటే ఫ్రీగా మూవ్ అవడం. సో ఈజీగా రియాక్ట్ అయిపోయి వైతోని యూ విల్ గెట్ ద ఫైనల్ ప్రొడక్ట్. సో లెబైల్ ఎప్పుడు వస్తాయి అంటే ద ఆక్టైడల్ కాంప్లెక్స్ అకార్డింగ్ టు VBT థియరీ. సో అకార్డింగ్ టు VBT థియరీ లెబైల్ ఎప్పుడు వస్తుంది? లెబైల్ అనేది కంప్లీట్ గా మనకు ఎప్పుడు వస్తుంది అంటే సో దట్ ఈస్ sp3d2. So that is outer orbital complex. Outer orbital complex. Outer orbital complex ఎప్పుడు వస్తాయి? సో దట్ ఈస్ వీక్ ఫీల్డ్ లిగాండ్స్. సో వీక్ ఫీల్డ్ లిగాండ్స్ ఉన్నప్పుడు వస్తాయి. వీక్ ఫీల్డ్ లిగాండ్స్ అంటే మనం దీన్ని ఏమంటాం? హై స్పిన్ కాంప్లెక్స్ అని కూడా అంటారు. హై స్పిన్ కాంప్లెక్స్. సో ఇఫ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ ఇనర్ట్ కాంప్లెక్స్ ఎప్పుడు వస్తుంది అంటే దట్ ఈస్ d2sp3. ఎందుకంటే ఆర్బిటల్స్ అన్ని ఫిల్ అయిపోతున్నాయి. దట్ ఈస్ d2sp3 and this is inner orbital complex. Inner orbital complex. This is inner orbital complex. And ఎప్పుడు వస్తుంది ఇన్నర్ ఆర్బిటల్ కాంప్లెక్స్? ఇది స్ట్రాంగ్ ఫీల్డ్ లిగాండ్స్ ఉన్నప్పుడు వస్తుంది. సో దీన్నే మనం ఏమంటాము అంటే లో స్పిన్ కాంప్లెక్స్ అంటున్నాం. లో స్పిన్ కాంప్లెక్స్. సో దిస్ ఈస్ పర్టికులర్లీ ద కైనెటిక్ స్టెబిలిటీ with VBT theory. So now in this lecture we have to understood, till now we have seen the stability of complexes, that is labile and inertness according to VBT theory. So according to VBT theory we have understood that, so the according to VBT theory we have understood that the complexes they may be labile or inert by varying with their hybridization. So it may some sp3d2 it is a labile complex and d2sp3 that is a inert complex. So this particularly it is according to VBT theory. Now here there is something, there are certain metal complexes they will show completely different. So they will show completely different here. So what is the completely different here? That you have to understand that. So what is the difference here? Nothing but certain complexes. So they may be sp3d2 and they may show inertness. So I will tell you such examples so you can easily understand it. So let us try to take some example so you can easily understand that. So let us remove all this. I will tell one simple example, that is NiH2O6 plus NiH2O6, and you can easily so this NiH2O6, you can see it is a weak field ligand because water is a weak field ligand. Water is a weak field ligand. So then water is a weak field ligand. So the electron, so definitely it will follow Hund's rule. Definitely it follows Hund's rule. And this is weak field ligand. So here you will get the high spin complex. This high spin complex. High spin complex. And now this the hybridization will be sp3d2. So sp3d2, which is a completely, generally it is a labile complex. It is a labile complex. So that means that labile complex means this nickel. So I will write particular reaction so you can easily understand it. So that is nickel S2O plus 2. If it is reacting with like NH3, so you will get a product like this NiH2O second 5 times, and this is NH3 and plus 2, and finally, so whatever the remaining product, that is water molecule. So see here, this is a substitution reaction. Now question here, according to VBT theory, this actually it should be labile. That means this reaction should actually it should occur here. So this reaction jaragali. But actually, when experimentally this is inert. So this is inert. So ante ఈ reaction jaragadu. This reaction will never occur here. So why? What is the reason? అదేంటి విబిటి థియరీ ద్వారా మనం ఇప్పుడే చూస్తాం కదా. విబిటి థియరీ అంటే sp3d2. ఇక్కడ వాటర్ మాలిక్యూల్ ఉంది, అది వీక్ ఫీల్డ్ లిగాండ్. సో హున్స్ రూల్ ఫాలో అవుతుంది. సో sp3d2 హైబ్రిడైజేషన్ వస్తుంది. సో ఎంటీ ఆర్బిటాల్స్ ఉంటాయి, 3 ఎంటీ ఆర్బిటాల్స్ ఉంటాయి. సో it should labile. So it should be labile, easily react అవ్వాలి. It should be actually easily substituted with the another ligand. So it can easily undergo substitution reaction. But finally and experimentally, this is not labile, this is inert. So this is actually inert complex. So that means this reaction will never occurs here. So why? What is the reason here? So that can be explained with the CFT theory. The statement is supported with the CFT theory, that is a crystal field theory. So VBT theory అనేది VBT theory ద్వారా కొన్ని కాంప్లెక్స్ కి మనం స్టేబుల్ ఉందా కాదా, లెబైలా కాదా అనేది మనం చెప్పొచ్చు. ఇక్కడ లెబైల్ ఉంది. లెబైల్ అంటే ఇట్ కెన్ బి ఈజీలీ రియాక్టెడ్ విత్ దిస్ అమోనియా. అంటే లెబైల్ అంటే ఇక్కడ వచ్చేసరికి ఇది అన్స్టేబుల్. దిస్ ఇస్ అన్స్టేబుల్. ఇట్ షుడ్ బి అన్స్టేబుల్ కాబట్టి ఈజీగా అమోనియాతో రియాక్ట్ అవుతుంది. బట్ యాక్చువల్గా దీన్ని ఎక్స్పెరిమెంటల్ లో చూస్తే ఇట్ ఈస్ ఎ స్టేబుల్ కాంప్లెక్స్ హియర్. సో దాట్ కెన్ బి ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్డ్ విత్ ద CFT థియరీ ఆర్ క్రిస్టల్ ఫీల్డ్ థియరీ that we will see in the next lecture. But you have to understand that VBT theory, according to VBT theory, most of the complexes, generally in case of the octahedral complexes, sp3d2 are the labile complexes, d2sp3 are the inert complexes. So generally it is according to the VBT theory. But kinetically, so this VBT theory, sometimes it is fails to sometimes it is failing here, sometimes it is fails here. So the reason here that can be supported with the crystal field theory. So I will tell you with the crystal field theory in the next session. But you have to understand this VBT theory. Once again I am telling you the kinetic stability. So kinetic stability, it is of simply two types, that is labile or inert. So this labile is nothing but it is unstable. Inert is nothing but which is a stable here. So here inert a stable ఎలా తెలుస్తుందంటే ఒక simple reaction, that is ml, it is reacted with y, you are getting my plus l. So now we are talking about the stability or inertness, that is with because of this ml. ఈ ml అనేది స్టేబులా అన్స్టేబులా, ఒకవేళ ఇనర్ట్ అయితే దీంతో రియాక్ట్ అవ్వదు, ఈ ప్రొడక్ట్ రాదు. ఒకవేళ లెబైల్ అయితే అన్స్టేబుల్ అయితే వైతో రియాక్ట్ అవుతుంది, ఈ ప్రోడక్ట్ వస్తుంది. సో దట్ ఈస్ ద కైనెటిక్ స్టెబిలిటీ. సో we have till now we have seen the kinetic stability according to VBT theory, but there are certain exceptions are there, certain limitations are there. So those limitations, there are certain drawbacks here. So those can be they can supported with the crystal field theory. So the crystal field theory, I will explain you the crystal field theory in the next session. So this is enough for now, and thank you.